Here are the things that I would grab. My list. These are the only things that I would grab from a grocery store. I suggest, and these are the things I have on hand. I suggest you get these things. I suggest you purchase them and you understand how much what you purchased will feed your family or yourself. Let's go through the list. Rice. I buy only jasmine rice. This one I bought yesterday at Walmart and it cost me, this particular brand was $14.57. It has 90 servings and a serving size is 1/4 a cup. That would feed somebody 1 meal a day for 90 days, if that can break it down for you. So if I have 6 people in my family, honestly, what I want to do is I want to have 6 of these. You don't have to buy a name brand. Go get the generic brand. It doesn't matter. It's rice and it has a lot of minerals and nutrition and nutrients that you need. So go get the rice. Directions are always on the back. The reason you buy the rice is because you buy the dried beans. Get red beans and black beans. One bag of black beans had 13 servings and it cost me $1.50. If you can, I would also grab garbanzo beans just because of the nutrition level and the millions of things you can do with the bean juice. So if you're gonna buy beans, I would buy all the dried beans that you possibly could store, because this bag of dried beans has 13 servings in it and they're 1/4 cup servings. The 1/4 cup serving of this plus the 1/4 cup serving of the rice gives you all of the 9 essential amino acids that your body needs to survive. You can survive on that. These are the order that I would grab these things in as well. So tofu. Tofu's next on my list. There's shelf-stable tofu. Tofu has 17 grams of protein and it only costs around $3. It's so much cheaper than ground beef. You can get the shelf-stable kind. It might not be, you want to get the extra firm or the super firm, because the firmer your tofu, the more protein it has. And I would grab as much of that as I could and throw it in my freezer because it's a protein. And you can flavor it with anything. The next thing I would grab is all the onions I could. Onions and garlic. Onions and garlic are going to keep you healthy. You really want to have those, and the next 2 items go right along with it. No, onions and garlic can flavor anything that you're cooking, especially your rice and beans. And honestly, there's not very much flavor unless you add those things or some kind of seasoning. If I had nothing else and I knew I was eating rice and beans every day for 3 months, I would absolutely want to have a stockpile of garlic and onion, not only to stay healthy, but to flavor my meals. You need onion and garlic in your life as often as possible. Next thing on my list is flour. Flour is very important. I would grab as much of the white flour as I could. In an emergency situation, it's the one that's the easiest to work with. Oh, I didn't put yeast. Okay, so with flour, I would buy instant yeast. It needs to be on my list. Anyway, those two go together in my head. You can make a flour sourdough starter in a minimum, like you can't find yeast, but it's really hard to work with and understand if you've never done it before. So in an emergency situation, I want white unbleached flour and instant dry yeast. Those are things I'm grabbing. Next on the list is honey. You can't give honey to anyone under 2 years old. Look it up. You can get botulism and all kinds of scary, scary things. But anyone over 2 years old, you want a stockpile of honey. And it's not just to sweeten your food. Granted, that's great. But honey does amazing things for your body, and I highly suggest you look it up because my video would be 20 minutes long. Honey is vital in my home. Just as vital as onions and garlic. Next, if I still had things that I was purchasing and still had money, I would buy canned tomatoes. Next, besides the canned tomatoes first, that should be at the bottom of my list, I want salt and sugar. You gotta have salt and sugar. It's in most recipes. Most recipes you can use the honey. So you don't need sugar if you have a huge stockpile of honey. But the salt you have to have. It flavors everything. Your food will not be palatable. And in times of high stress, you want your food to at least go down. The last thing on my list, but like I said, number 8 should have been number 10. Oil and vinegar. I would always have white distilled vinegar. Large jugs of them. If I can get apple cider vinegar, that would be awesome. If I can, on the oil, I have, I like to buy avocado oil. You can do coconut oil. That's a lot easier to get bigger containers. You can do vegetable oil, but you know, oil is important and it's in a lot of things, and it's also a fat. So if you can't get butter, you can have oil. So try to go for as high a quality as you can. Do your research on your recipes. It'll tell you what kind of oil. Most of my recipes just say oil, so I get to choose. So it's either avocado oil or coconut oil because they are more heart healthy and they're better for me, and I digest them better, and so does my family. They have a lot more minerals and things. Just do your research. If I could grab spices and I had the opportunity to grab only 5 spices, these are the 5 spices I would get. Oregano is one of the healthiest things that you could grab because you could make oregano oil. It's highly antibacterial, antiviral, antifungal, and when you cook with it, you get those nutrition values in your food. Oregano, if I had a choice, I would grab the biggest container I could of ground oregano. You get more bang for your buck and you still get the nutrition. Cumin is very healthy. It's also in tacos and chilies and all kinds of other things, and a sprinkle of cumin can change the flavor of your tofu, or, you know, these are the spices that I use every single week. So these are the ones I want, not just because they flavor our food, but because each one of these has medicinal properties. So when I use them in my food, I'm just getting all that health benefit. So oregano is my key, cumin's next, cinnamon's after that, and then chili powder and chipotle or smoked paprika. Those are the things that I always have and that I have a stock of. So the last thing I want to say about all of this is it's really easy to go online and go into YouTube and search how much rice does my family of 6 need for 1 month? How many beans, how many dried beans do I need for a month? How much onions and garlic should I store? All of those things are on there. This is how I keep our family healthy and I have food security. So, honestly, I hope that you look up the benefits of onions and of garlic and why protein's important and why honey is important and why all of these spices can be a benefit in your life. Because if I start spouting, I will never stop because these things are the healthiest things that I can do for our family in times of survival. I hope we don't get there. I hope the government opens back up. I hope none of this has to happen. But if it does, I'm going to keep making content and trying to make survival a little tastier. Hope you understand it a little more.